this meeting of the Town of Midwest Council for May 14th, year of our Lord 2025. Thank you for coming. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mandy DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Kayla Callahan.
Here.
Councilmember Rick Profits.
Here.
All right, thank you. So let's get started this evening. May we have approval of the minutes for April 9th of 2025?
I move to approve the minutes dated April 9th, 2025. Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. May we have approval of executive session minutes for April 9th of 2025?
I move to approve the executive session minutes for April 9th of 2025.
I second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I asked that they be relooked at. I believe there's some pertinent information missing.
Okay, we can look into this and approve it our next time we meet. Is anybody in agreement on that, or you have any other discussion? Everything's good? Okay, we'll move on.
If I could, I would like Rick to get with Sally to explain that pertinent information.
Okay,
Right.
all right. Okay, so now, may we have approval of executive session minutes for May 7th of 2025?
I move to approve the executive session minutes of May 7th, 2025.
I second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I request that we review that for pertinent information that I believe is missing.
Okay, we'll table this session for May 7th also, and further review. Is there any other discussion? Okay, let's move on to approval of the treasurer's report for March 2025.
I move to approve the treasurer's report for March 2025.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion is carried. So may we have approval of budget report for March of 2025?
I move to approve the budget report dated March 2025.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried, thank you. May we have approval of the treasurer's report for April of 2025?
I move to approve the treasurer's report dated April 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, motion carried. May we have approval of budget report for April of 2025?
I move to approve the budget report for April 2025.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, motion carried. So let's move on to communications. There's some paperwork up here if anybody's interested in the Wham gun-free zone repeal webinar, and USDA Rural Development new presidential appointee to serve rural Wyoming, and a word from Wham and from April in review, and all of these are here if anyone is interested. So let's move on to petitions, memorials, and complaints. May we have a motion for a zoning permit for Barbara Damon of 211 Lewis Street for roof repair?
I move to approve the zoning permit for Barbara Damon at 211 Lewis for a roof repair.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, motion carried. May we have a motion on the zoning permit for Donna Miller at 122 Stock Street and a roof replacement?
I move to approve the zoning permit for Donna Miller at 122 Stock Street for a roof replacement.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, so let's move on to the officer's report and a maintenance report. Jamie put one here in front of you, and Jamie, do you have anything else to say about this?
I don't believe so, unless you guys have questions, I'll sure answer them.
Okay, the supervisors are gonna start on Monday, the 19th, is that my understanding?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good, and then we'll see who else puts in for that. Thank you. Anything else on your maintenance report, Jamie, for us?
Not for me, no.
Any other questions for Jamie?
Which BLM permit was it?
It was the, Moses Field. And, just to expound just a little bit on that, you guys will see a resolution next meeting for renewal and change of a couple of permit classifications. They're not renewals and they're not recreation, they're actual leases, we're gonna have to resubmit for various reasons on the BLM side. So, you'll have the resolution, similar to what you guys signed in, or voted on in 2022, that's just, so the council gives Tracy the right to sign on behalf of the town for these, so we just had to make some corrections there, so. They were cordial and said we were on track, but we needed to redirect, just a couple of other ones that have come to their attention that are a little bit more priority than what we had set initially 6 months ago.
Okay.
We probably all set in on who,
They do. They didn't have staff for a long time, and now they do have staff. They're digging into the recreational side of things, which was not even being looked at for the last 2 years because they were so busy on the energy side of things. So they're finally getting down to the other important stuff, not less urgent, it's different.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Do we have a clerk's report?
The only thing I wanted to let you guys know is, Sally and I sent out 29 dormant tap properties to collection on April 29th due to non-payment.
Okay, that's everything you have. Does anybody have any questions for the clerk this evening? Okay, thank you. Mayor's report, I have a little bit of something. Due to me taking over as chairman for joint powers at the next meeting, we will need either Kayla or Ray to go onto the board. The meetings are held on the third weekend of each month at 6:30 p.m.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, that's what I said. That's what I thought I said.
That's what I heard.
Okay, so if you guys wanna talk about that amongst yourselves and see who wants to go.
I'm sure it's right.
Who wants to be there?
That was a nice voluntold.
There will not be a meeting on June 11th. Our next council meeting will not be on June 11th due to the WHAM conference, and there will be too many of us gone for that. So there will be, our next meeting will be on June 25th, which would be the next scheduled meeting if anybody is interested. That would be on the 25th. So there'll be too many of us going to that to miss out on that. So that's all I have also. Anybody have any questions, any comments? Okay, attorney's report. Do we have an attorney's report this?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Police code enforcement report.
We're still without, so, no.
Yes, and I have the Chief Thompson and his group looking at another gentleman that put in his application. So they're looking him over right now. Okay, do we have a council member report? All right. Let's move on to unfinished business then. Community improvement. Do we have anything on community improvement this evening?
Just the water tower painting project, it was in the maintenance report, but, for those who may be listening or watching or care to know, the water tower letter repainting project should be June 5th is our tentative date, for that to be completed. So Devo's painting out of Casper's, elected to do the work.
Thank you for seeing that through.
Yes, they, he's pretty excited, just so you guys know his background. I didn't realize he did the pavilion 3 years ago,
Okay.
4 years ago. Same guy, has contract with the school district, so maintains all the interior of the school district housing as well, that their painters don't do. So he said, I'm pleased you guys called, and I'm happy that I'll be, how do you put, refreshing Midwest history while painting the letters on the water tower. So he has a little bit of time and sweat invested out here, and he's a very pleasant guy to work with, so he anticipates no problems with the project.
Perfect, and
Yeah,
he likes maroon too, then.
he does like maroon.
Oh,
Yes.
That's all that matters there. All right, thank you, Jamie, for taking care of that for us. All right, let's move on. This is the third and final reading of ordinance 2025-01. An ordinance amending chapter 2, administration, article 1, in general, section 2-21, pertaining to the time and date of the council meetings. May we have a motion?
I move to accept the third and final reading of ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance amending chapter 2, administration, article 1, in general, section 2-21, pertaining to the time and date of the council meetings.
Okay, we have a motion for this third and final reading of the ordinance, chapter 2, administration, article 1, in general, section 221, pertaining to time and date of council meetings. May we have a second motion? Okay, no second motion was in. So, what do we do now? We table this?
It
or-
dies for lack of second.
Okay. Dies on the floor, okay. All right, now this is the second reading of the annual budget ordinance 2025-02, an annual appropriation ordinance for the town of Midwest, Wyoming for fiscal year ending June 30th of 2026.
I move to approve the second reading of the annual budget ordinance 2025-02, an annual appropriation ordinance for the town of Midwest, Wyoming for fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2026.
Did you decide on what was a person?
Oh, no, I haven't. Never mind, shut it down. So I kind of would like to have a work session to discuss both of them if that's possible. Like, just so I make sure that I got my information all correct
Then we will need to have another meeting before the end of June.
before the end of June.
Because the end of June will be the third and final reading.
And since we won't have enough people here on June 11th, our next time would be the 22nd, the 21st.
May 28th.
So would I read? Yeah.
Should we make a motion in a second so we can have discussion? I move to accept the second reading of the annual budget ordinance 2025-02, an annual appropriation ordinance for the town of Midwest, Wyoming for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, with a 3% raise for Jamie and Bert.
Okay, we have a first and a second motion. Is there any discussion on this?
Yes.
Thank you.
So that is actually the one that I was kind of looking at as well. And also Rod and Sally would have an increase to theirs as well.
They automatically get an
Yes,
increase
and
due to
so-
the schedule.
Yeah, so that is also the one that I had been looking at as well,
Okay.
is the 3%.
I picked 3 because it's middle of the road and 3% is usually your cost of living increase.
And that was roughly where I was with it as well, with the changing in the economy what I mean, that it seemed like it was the best feasible move for us at this time.
Okay, is there any other discussion on this? 3%, were you agreeing?
Would you still like to have a work session, Kayla?
No, I'm good, no, yeah, that's what I wanted, was that one. I just didn't realize I was supposed to read it out loud. I was like,
Okay, so let's move on to a third reading then.
So approved?
Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion is carried. Thank you, Bert.
Yes.
Okay, this is second reading of ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance granting an electric utility franchise and general utility easement to Rocky Mountain Power and repealing any other ordinance in conflict herewith. May we have a motion?
I move to accept the second reading of ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance granting an electric utility franchise and general utility easement to Rocky Mountain Power and repealing any other ordinance in conflict herewith.
I second.
Do we have any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion is carried. Thank you all. Discuss the Salt Creek Joint Powers Board Water Service Agreement.
I move to accept the Salt Creek Joint Powers Board Water Service Agreement with suggested changes to paragraph 11.
Second?
Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to new business. Do we have a motion for the vouchers presented for payment at this time?
I move to accept the vouchers presented for payment.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion is carried. All right, thank you for coming tonight. We are, at this time, we'll open the floor for any public comments.
I got one, well, two. I've been in contact, well, I shouldn't say I've been, they've been with me, is the tax auditor's office out of Cheyenne. Wanting to know if they can use my videos and whatever they're looking for. They asked me if any of my videos have been doctored, shortened, or anything like that, and I said no. That they are recorded live on YouTube, and then I transfer them over to the Facebook website. I get to see who all actually looks. I've been doing it since 21, and so far they have about over half of, from this time period all the way back to 2022. About halfway back, they've been going through the videos. And my second question is, are we paying for the sheriff's department to come out here and patrol?
Well, I answer.
Hmm?
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a specific incident in which you're talking about, why you would bring up the sheriff's department?
Well, I've seen them out here, and a couple of them, they got a couple good places where they hide out, and well, if you sit there and watch them, their head's like this, and it doesn't move, and they're sound asleep.
Yeah. I believe that they have been patrolling out here more on their own accord.
Well, I didn't know if we had to pay for them to come out or not and patrol, or do they just do it?
No.
Okay.
At this time, we do not have an agreement with them for, it's just, since there is a lack, it falls under county authority.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Please.
Mr. Mayor, we've successfully sold some properties here in Midwest. 239 Lewis Street over kind of catty corner from the water tower there. has a sewer line that's tied in with the neighbors at 241. In the past, the council has waived the sewer tap fee if the new homeowner wants to run their independent line rather than tie in with the neighbors. The folks I'm in contract with to purchase that have asked if that sewer tap fee could be waived on 239, so before they plan to put a mobile home out here, that they will run a new sewer line. They just want to be independent and not connected to the neighbor. I know from employment in the past, it's been granted. It's just relocation of where the waste deposits in the sewer line, but it's an independent line, so therefore you don't have the problems that you may have with neighbors either. So they're requesting through me still as property owner, they're working contract for deed for a short amount of time on that. If it'd be possible to waive that sewer tap fee, so when they go to get their permits in, and they can file the appropriate paperwork in order to do that. So,
I think when they file the appropriate paperwork and come and talk to us about it, they can bring it up at that time, and then we can make that decision, just like I did with mine when I did mine.
okay, so that's at the time of permit,
Yes,
is when you guys will decide that?
yes.
Okay, all right, fair enough?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any other public comment this evening? All right, may I ask for an adjournment?
I move to adjourn the regular council meeting.
Is there any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Thank you for coming. This meeting is over.